listen to him. Listen to this guy answer the question of why aren't we doing more against Yemen?
Been counterstrikes in both Syria and Iraq. There have not been counterstrikes that have specifically targeted Houthis in Yemen. Why not?
Well, the big thing here, I think, when you look at the broader Middle East, is there are several different factors here. This is a very difficult area for us to go after, and there's still a possibility that there may be counterstrikes against the Houthis in Yemen. One of the reasons that it hasn't happened yet, the intelligence picture on the Houthis is not as good as it is against the forces in Iraq, the Iranian paramilitary groups, Iranian associated paramilitary groups, and that is one of the reasons why the Houthis are not being attacked right now. Also, keep in mind, when Saudi Arabia had their war with the Houthis, they didn't do so well, and we don't want to get into that same quagmire.
So basically, the Houthis in Yemen, they some down-ass Negroes, Nick. They don't play with them motherfuckers. They're some real ass motherfuckers. They're like the niggas from Compton, you know what I'm saying? The niggas from the street. Like, wait. How come you ain't going into that house? Oh no. That's the real niggas over there. So when we decide to go to that house, we gotta be like on our shit, and we don't have the intelligence. Basically, there's the people, the Houthis and the Yemen's on selling out people, so they don't have the intelligence in that area. And the last time they had a fight, they whooped some ass, so we ain't trying to really fuck with them. And I'll pass it back to you for the
Yemen defeated the U.S. Saudi-led coalition, which led the U.S.-led Saudi coalition to be so desperate that they started to starve thousands of children. Led to genocide in Yemen. Now you guys see why it was so important for the United States to win that war, even if it means starving the population and committing war crimes by blocking the Saudi blockade. It was extremely important for the United States to get the Red Sea to prevent something like this from happening. And they was willing to starve as many people with a genocide in Yemen in order to get control of the Red Sea. Now you guys see why it's so important. Because like you said, CJ, that was a hilarious bit. Yemen is some real motherfuckers. They real. You remember this headline, CJ, when we initially covered this story? And I love, bro, Neocon Twitter was on something else, man, because they were like, yes, Operation Prosperity Guardian, we about to get those Houthis. Gotta get those Houthis. Gotta get them. And meanwhile, everyone else was laughing at him. Like, and the Houthi was laughing too. Like, you know the motherfucker that really, the person you don't want to mess with, because this is who I was. I always know how to box. Like, the person who get in conflict, who's not about that shit, they're like, hey, what's good, bro? Let's go. Square up, homie. What's good, homie? Nigga, you don't want to box? What's good? Whenever I see someone do that, I'm like, this about to be easy. Because you know what I do when I was in conflict? I will laugh. You about to make a mistake. You don't want to fuck with me, bro. I did Muay Thai for 12 years. You know, you calm. You're like, bro, you don't want to do this. That's what a real person would say if they really know how to defend themselves. So when Operation Prosperity Guardian was announced, the West was like, oh, the Houthis must be shaking in their boots. No, the Houthis was like, oh, bro, we wish you would. And they said, Yemen says they will turn the Red Sea into a graveyard after the U.S. announces maritime coalition. So they're like, bro, if you want to die today, come to the Red Sea. So the Yemen, showing how hard they are, you have France and Spain that was like, they saw that threat, CJ. They was like, the Houthi was like, we're going to turn the Red Sea to the graveyard. Spain and France was like, shit. Shit. You got this, bro. Did I say I was going to do that? No, I didn't say anything. I don't know what y'all talking about. I ain't say anything. They said they're going to turn the Red Sea to a graveyard, bro. Hell no. Hell no. I would never find someone to say that. So this is the hell. Look, this is hilarious. Cracks in the Red Sea alliance underline U.S.-Europe division. Embarrassment of United States leadership. What is the narrative that they've been telling you in Morning Joe and corporate media that love Democrats, right? They've been telling you that Biden does such a great job because he unified the civilized world. Nuh-uh. And remember the story I showed you guys earlier before. Gaza completely undermined them. There's gonna be an article I'm gonna cover later that covers in great detail in the Guardian. It's not a socialist perspective and not anti-imperialist perspective. It's them lamenting the move that Biden made in Gaza. He's like, bro, you guys supporting the genocide in Gaza just undermine everything we said about Ukraine. He was like a big Ukraine war hawk. He's like, bro, we just said we stood for peace and not killing kids, and you guys just fucked it up for us. We can't say that no more. You guys think Europe don't see that? You think all these people don't see that? And they explain how people see this hypocrisy. And I'm gonna cover this article in great detail maybe later tonight, because this is a fantastic article, and I want to read every single quote. We don't got time for it today. I may do it on stream later today. That's why I want to do an extra stream. Look at this headline. Why the U.S. double standards on Israel and Russia play into a dangerous game. The West equivocation on Gaza exposes a global order facing mutiny over its domination of the international discourse. You guys see how this article is good. It is. But it's like, woe is us. Woe is us. The U.S. credibility is falling. So you guys know why this is connected? Because the United States, who have no moral credibility, they can't just call up a coalition like this anymore. These countries don't want to be associated with the United States because they know that Yemen is the only country that is being compliant with the genocide conventions. And do you want to be seen committing troops and investing in a country that's doing everything they can to stop a genocide when the majority of the world is against the genocide, which leads to the embarrassing situations like we see here? Now I'll just read a little bit of this and now move on, and then we move on. Let me see. A just cause enjoys I'll read a little bit. A just cause enjoys abundant support, while an unjust cause finds little support. No one feels this snippet of wisdom more deeply than the United States is now. A spokesman for Spain's defense ministry told AFP on Sunday that the country will not participate in the so-called Operation Prosperity Guardian. AUS later, that pretty much explain what it is. So Lloyd Austin did a press conference like, we got Spain, we got France, and then niggas Spain and France like, they don't put us in this. Like, you did that fight when you're on the fight on the backyard as a kid. And you're like, hey, CJ, you got my back, right? You know, no, don't. That motherfucker huge. No, you got my back. No. That's pretty much what this was. And this is massively embarrassing. You guys obviously see how much I'm enjoying the story, right? I'll just read another paragraph. I know you probably got a few more things you want to share. Obviously, the U.S. European allies are no longer willing to foot the bill of U.S. selfishness. Operation Prosperity Guardian, organized by the U.S., has a strong political overtone. That is, safeguarding Israel's national interests. Israel's action in Gaza have aroused the anger of the international community. More than 20,000 Palestinians have reportedly been killed, more than 50,000 injured, and much of Gaza has been destroyed. Some European countries have begun to diverge from the United States on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. The objective of the United States creating the Red Sea Alliance, on the other hand, is testing whether its allies share the same belief on this issue. On the other hand, Washington is levering multilateral diplomatic actions to cover up its unilateral support of Israel. The U.S. allies always support the U.S. and share its stance, but that does not mean they will unlimitedly support the frenzied position taken on by the United States on all its issues. Now, I'm gonna show you guys this, because this article kind of breaks down what each country says. Man, I hate Reuters more than almost any other website. This is like a summary. Let me go down here. When this was first announced, it was hyped up so much in the corporate media and was getting on neocon Twitter. We were like, oh, it's over for the Houthis, but they will never explain what it actually was. This is what Prosperity Guardian always was, which is why this is embarrassing, right? And this is why they're dismayed, because they said the ships would stay under French command, and they're not going to change anything other than their already agreed security arrangements. That's essentially the position of France. Italy straight up said, "Hey, we don't know what the hell Biden's talking about, bro. We are not part of Operation Prosperity Guardian." So that's like the position of like Italy and Spain, like, so Lloyd Austin lied about us. We didn't agree to this. And look, this is Britain. Britain said destroyer HMS Diamond would join Operation Prosperity Guardian. Britain Defense Ministry said the coalition will operate as part of the U.S. CMF. So look at the devastation that's going to be led by the Houthis. Remember, the Red Sea, the size of California, CJ. So they got one cop car that's going to patrol the entire Red Sea. The cop car in this situation is called the HMS Diamond. The HMS Diamond is going to patrol the entirety of the Red Sea, the size of California. This is what they told you is going to be used to stop the Houthis in Yemen. So, CJ, anything else you want to add? This is why this is extremely embarrassing. And it shows exactly what we've been saying of the United States of losing influence and power. But I'll pass it back to you if you have anything else you want to add, CJ.
Yeah, just a couple of receipts I want to show here because I had the same story prepared. But you showed most of the receipts I had already. But except for this one here is a pretty interesting a video. This is let me just play it and let me not preface it. Let me just play it.
The Palestinian flag is painted onto a Houthi helicopter as they film themselves taking over a cargo ship in the Red Sea. The fighters have increased attacks on vessels in the Bab al-Mandeb Strait since the start of Israel's war on Gaza, and they've become far more sophisticated in their methods. It's causing a ripple effect in one of the world's most important shipping routes.
It will have an impact, an inflation shock on the global economy if it increases. We already saw European gas prices jump by.
So we have to, the reason I wanted to show this because I want to make sure we understand what the Yemen government is doing. We call them Houthis, but this is the Yemen government. This is not some sort of thrown together rinky dink. This is a well thought out strategy that is affecting capitalists where it matters to them, and that's their pocketbook. And this is as simple as them having to reroute and take an extra 10 days to go around Africa instead of going through the Red Sea. That right there is just causing capitalists to spend more money. Now, they could do it, Nick. No problem. And not have any war, no conflict, but they can't do it when you're a capitalist and everything about you being capitalist is saving money somewhere, exploiting something somewhere, and they want to exploit this strait that's right here through the Red Sea, the shipping corridor. And I'm just loving what Yemen is doing, attacking these commercial vessels. And what I also love is how their reaction, these commercial vessels basically saying, dude, what are we going to do here, bro? We can't do anything. We just going to have to go around and pay extra money. But the U.S., of course, the leading capitalists, the leading imperialists have to say, no. We're going to find a way where we're going to get through here by any means necessary, even if that includes what they tried to put together here with this maritime coalition. And it was easy to spot, Nick, that this shit was going to fall apart because the other countries weren't all on board with this. They weren't all like, oh yeah. They were never so like amped up about this. And I'll just read this and pass it back to you. This is Danny Haiphong saying France, Spain, and Italy have withdrawn from the U.S.-led naval alliance against the Houthis or Yemen. The U.S. has already admitted to lacking the number of warships to adequately combat the Houthis' capabilities. Modern day Rome burning. I love that from Danny. But go ahead, Nick. You were gonna say something or had another receipt, sir?
Yeah. I'm trying to think about whether I'm probably gonna read this more in detail to later. I'll just read a little bit of the intro for the sake of this particular segment. I'll read this because this is related, and I'm gonna read more of the quotes in detail later because it's a pretty long article talking about the double standards on Israel and Russia. Because what this analysis is summing up what's happening here in Prosperity Guardian. I'll read just a little bit of it, and then we can wrap this segment up. Richard Haas, the distinguished global analyst, once wrote, "Consistency is foreign policy. Consistency in foreign policy is a luxury policymakers cannot always afford." Now, I want to look at that line. Isn't that interesting, the mindset of the establishment? You guys see how they always work backwards from the conclusion to justify why the establishment is full of criminals and liars? Oh, you can't always expect a politician to be principled. You guys see how they lowered the expectations of the ruling class? And even the progressives are guilty of that. Oh, you can't expect John Fetterman not to be a Zionist. Oh, yes, we can. Oh, yeah, we can expect the politicians to be consistent on foreign policy. We don't support people like RFK Jr. who pretend they like peace in one area, but they don't like peace in this area. You got to be consistent. Inconsistency and being a hypocrite is one of the surefire signs of corruption. So let me continue, because I don't want to go off too out topic. Let me continue. But equally, glaring national hypocrisy can come with a high price tag. So this is the establishment saying, hey, you can lie about a little bit, you can propagandize a little bit, but there's a line, bro. That's how crazy the Biden administration is, CJ. The Biden administration is so crazy. Professional propagandists is like, bro, you guys can't do this. Like, you can't go this crazy. You can get away with a lot of shit, but not this. Not this amount of hypocrisy. They talk about the high price tag in terms of lost credibility, damaged global prestige, and diminished self-respect. So Joe Biden's decision, I'm actually glad I read this with you here. So Joe Biden's decision to defend Israel's method in Gaza so soon after, in a different context, CJ, they condemned the Russia invasion in Ukraine. It's not just an occasion for hand-wringing from liberals and lawyers. And they explain this hypocrisy is already having a real-world impact on relations between the global North and South and West and East, creating consequences that could reverberate for decades. The Biden administration, reluctant to change course, may say parallels between Gaza and Ukraine are far from exact. Good luck making that argument.